From Studio 3 at Buzz TV, it's The Horse's Mouth with Tom McManus.
All right, welcome into another edition of The Horse's Mouth. Here, Tommy Max, of course, at my bar. Where else would we be? We're always here each and every week, brought to you by our friends at Dasher and Operation Barnabas. XL Primetime is here from 1010XL. Coach Campo is here, and the co-founder of Dasher, a sports technology firm, is here. We're going to talk sports technology in the world of sports. Let's welcome in the panel. Coach Campo is here. How are you, Coach?
Hi, Tom. Good.
Great to see you.
Thank you.
Technology for a head coach, especially today, is absolutely huge. Gotta have it.
Well, a lot of guys probably wouldn't have made it in the NFL initially if the way they did the technology.
Me included.
But I'll guarantee you that it's big now. You know, the combine is important because it gives you at least a starting point, and then everything else goes on film and that type of thing. But it's very important for sure.
Accurate reporting.
Absolutely.
Right? And talking with you guys, you know, on the radio, you got to be accurate.
Oh,
right?
yes.
And you got to make sure that it's almost spot on or pretty much spot
yes.
on.
That goes for facts. That goes for numbers. You can't say if it's 3.8, there's a big difference between 3.8 and 4.
Yep.
And so we kind of saw it, unfortunately, on a much more specific level in Tampa this past week with the reporter, which, again, we don't know all the facts if it was a news reporter or a sports reporter, but the reporter who asked about
the weather
in Detroit when we know it's actually an arena. So that's another example for those kids watching at home to make sure
well, at least Bulls didn't walk off like Tomlin did after this question. Right.
I think it's also it allows reporters a unique access into what teams are looking at.
Right.
Because you get these specific things that these templates they use about speed and 20-yard cone and all that, and it gives you an idea of what teams are looking at. So you're looking at the same stuff that the teams are looking at.
Yeah, no doubt. Joe, what do you think, buddy?
Well, the metrics and analytics have become such a niche, like a cottage industry almost when you think about it, and it paves the way for guys to have numbers that they want to hit. But Gil Brandt, back in Coach Campo's days, he would always say there's a threshold. In other words, bigger, faster, stronger. That's the group we're going to look for. So that's what you have to shoot for, and just try and equal whatever that prospect number is that you're looking for, speed, strength,
whatever it is, Chase Pfeiffer's here. Hey, Chase, how are you, buddy? Welcome back to the show, co-founder of Dasher. So, look, I know with the measurables, you got to be spot on, but then I want this for the whole panel. How do you differentiate? Everyone looks at stats, facts, but how do you differentiate the eye test? You know, because I hear like pressure, so I always hear pressure. These guys have got the highest pressure in the ring, and I'm like, but they're not doing anything. They're not disrupting. They're maybe pressures can be subjective because the guy could roll out and hit a pass for a touchdown. Yeah, I pressured him out of the pocket. He still hit me for a long one. You know what I'm saying?
Like Jordan Love the other day.
We're going to get into those playoffs real quick, but how do you got to differentiate the eye test, right, from just pure straight up numbers?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every sport is going to have your position skills and what makes an athlete unique there. But on top of that, it's the standards of what is speed, what is agility, what is power, how do we quantify that, and being able to have what our core numbers are that we value. And then on top of that is what your skills are. If I have a athlete that says his hand is 10 inches, but really it's 7.5. Well, is he going to be able to hold a football? Is he going to be able to throw it? I mean, like all that comes into it. And when you're just hearing it from the horse's mouth,
right? Like hands, you're the one. That's all across the board. All right, we got playoff weekend, divisional round. Let's see, Coach. How many divisional round playoff games have you coached? Can you remember?
4.
Okay, 4. Good man, good memory.
4.
I'm trying to add mine up. I think I've played in 96 and 98, so 2. What's the biggest upset this week? If there's an upset, who you
I'm
pick?
just going to say the potential of an upset. I at least see Green Bay over San Francisco because of what they were able to do to Dallas. But I got to remind myself it's a totally different defense that the Niners are going to trot out there. And a week of rest for Baltimore and San Francisco, and you know this, Tommy, that is paramount. Paramount.
Well, as long as they're not rusty, but I don't expect either Baltimore or San Fran to be rusty. I just think they're coached differently.
I agree with you, but there is that you got that 1 week, and you got El Boogie out there, hadn't played for a week. He rested a little bit at the end of the season as well. Now you're throwing him in a situation where he's got to perform immediately, and you're playing a white-hot quarterback in C.J. Stroud. That's going to be fun.
I love momentum into the playoffs. Momentum to me is huge in the playoffs. How about you, Mia?
The funny part about Matt bringing that up is look at the Major League Baseball playoffs this year. All the teams that had a bye all got bounced in the first round that they actually did play a game. Do we consider the Chiefs an upset? Is that considered an upset? Because that is worth noting. They are an underdog. It's the first time Patrick Mahomes has had to go on the road in the playoffs, which is astounding because he's been a starting quarterback since
I'll even stay up for that.
2018.
Starts at 6:30, which helps.
And of course, both teams played in frigid temperatures last week, and it will be about 0 degrees at kickoff at Buffalo on Sunday night. So that'll be a good one.
Call me crazy, Coach, but if I have to pick an upset, I think Tampa could go up to Detroit and upset. I don't want them to. I like Detroit's story. You know, Brunell's up there, so you connection there, but I don't know. Momentum, they're hot. They believe. I know this. When we beat Buffalo in '96, going to Denver, now granted we were a huge underdog, but a lot of us didn't feel like we were going to get beat. Like we just felt confident. You get that momentum, you feel confidence, you can play with anybody.
Yeah, I think the underdogs in any of these games, you have to be careful with them. The one thing I do know is that back in the day, we had buys on our 3 Super Bowl wins. And it really comes down to, are you focused on, you know, what you have to do that particular day? Who are you playing against? All those kind of things.
Player leadership is huge in that.
Absolutely.
Veteran player leadership.
And I like Tampa Bay. I think they're playing hot. The quarterback's hot. But, you know, you look at Stroud and you look at those guys. But the one thing is the guys that have the bye, they are not going to get surprised.
Right.
In other words, it's not like the wild card round where a team comes out of nowhere and wins.
Right.
They know what they're up against, and I think that's the positive thing.
It's a great weekend in sports. There's no doubt about it. Thank you all for being here. Appreciate that. Chase, keep up the good work, man, and thanks for being a part of the Horse's Mouth.
Appreciate it.
All right, beautiful. That'll do it for us. Make sure you check out their profiles at the dailynewsnetwork.com website. You'll see this conversation and many, many others right there. So until next time, stay safe out there and be cool. We'll see you right here on the Horse's Mouth.
Cheers. Cheers.
The coach should be going to bed at night thinking about the athlete and how they're going to help that athlete improve. They shouldn't be worrying about how am I going to quantify their improvement, or am I going to have to keep up with all this information? Those things that are kind of background to the coach focusing there on the athlete. And so what Dasher does is it takes all those side things away, allowing the coach to focus then on the athlete.